Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning.
Let's get this shit.
Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit.
I love you guys. Welcome back to the Creative Differences podcast. I'm Dallas, and I did bring Gabby back, and it is so she can answer my furry questions. Sorry, Gabby.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and I am not a furry. Not a furry.
Dang, at the top of the show, too.
We don't believe you.
I just wanted to get it out of the way.
That's the fastest you've ever said it.
It is.
Oh, it's because I gave in.
You gave in immediately.
I'm calling, and if I could, I'd be doing that. You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward face? Because
Yes.
come on, Gabby, we all know.
No.
It's okay. Well, it's fine. But yeah, you two are both furries, and I'm not, and I saw the movie, but it's fine. All right, welcome back to the Creative Differences podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Throwback Thursdays, Fancast Fridays, Furry Fridays, and another of other pop culture-related items. Today, we are talking about The Bad Guys and Snowfall, two things that only I watched. I'm saying the thing that Demi usually says because you can tell she's not here. She gave up on podcasting to become a crack dealer. We will miss her. All right.
Sir.
I mean, there's money in that, so get your money, black girl.
Much more than this in this podcast.
Buddy, I have
Anyway.
COVID. I'm not selling anything to anyone right now.
So Demi is here.
You can sell online.
That's true, and you can sell.
Open an Etsy shop.
Open an Etsy shop.
Crack. That designer crack.
You just got to put like a pretty bow on it, and it'll work.
Yeah.
Or like, something rustic. Like
wrap that brick up in a little.
Throw in a piece of
twine.
wood.
Anyway, yes. Before we get into the episode, please like, share, and subscribe because we are talking about dealing crack because we need money. And if we could monetize this, I wouldn't be talking about wrapping up bricks with ribbons and such to sell to. Anyway, yeah, let's get right to it. The Bad Guys. It's a movie that I saw by myself because Gabby bailed on me, but it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
She's going through it. Anyway, the movie is directed by Pierre Petitfel, a Frenchman who's making his feature debut with this movie. Shout out to Pierre. Good job. It is written by Ethan Cohen, not to be confused with Ethan Cohen. He's not one of the Cohen brothers.
Oh.
He might have a brother. I don't know. He's not like the Cohens. He's another Cohen. But anyway, this one, he wrote Idiocracy, Tropic Thunder, and Madagascar 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
He has range.
He has range. He writes animal comedies. He writes Robert Downey Jr. in blackface. The man has range. So the movie stars Sam Rockwell, Mark Maron, Anthony Ramos, Craig Robinson, Awkwafina, Richard Ayoade, and Zazie Beetz. Wonderful cast. And the IMDb summary: several reformed yet misunderstood criminal animals attempt to become good with some disastrous results along the way. That's not really what happens, but it's close-ish. I like this movie. It's really fun. It's funny. It's everything I thought it would be. I saw it because the cast was so fantastic. It's like, yo, I love Sam Rockwell, Mark Maron. Everybody I listed was super dope. And, I love Zazie Beetz so much. Yeah, pretty much what I expected. Like, it's a kid's movie, and that definitely is reflected in some of the humor, but there's enough for me to enjoy as a man who is terrifyingly close to 30.
It's fast approaching.
It's so fast.
You don't have to feel bad about watching a children's movie.
Oh, no. I don't feel bad about anything I watch.
Okay, cool.
Just, the existential dread that our whole generation has as we approach 30. It's unrelated to the movie. I'm just scared of being 30 because of that.
Yeah, I'm already there. It's not fun. I don't recommend it. Avoid it at all costs. Just kidding.
Not really an alternative that I'd like.
There's just like a lot of existential, like, what have I done with my life? The answer is like very little.
Right. That's where I'm at.
Guys, this is not a review for Tick Tick Boom, so let's continue on.
Oof.
Yes, Demi's here, in case you guys forgot.
Although that man was running out of time. Let's move on.
Goodness gracious, Gabby. So, the cast is great. Everyone is casted perfectly. Like, Sam Rockwell is the smooth-talking, charismatic wolf that the internet has already gotten weird about.
Bro, they were weird about him from the moment they saw his image in the first place.
They saw him in the suit, and they were like, let's go places.
It makes me think of, when movie companies want to make a movie, anthropomorphic animal movies are fun. You make, people like animals.
Yeah.
You want them to do human things. It's a fun thing to do. But at what point do you think, where are they going to take this guy? Do you have to worry about that when you make a movie? Are they aware of it?
I think they try not to. Although apparently, no, never mind. This is not a conversation.
Okay, we're gonna have it. But anyway, going down the list, Mark Maron is the last person I would expect to be cast in a kids movie.
Yeah. I'm like, he's there because of adults, to get adults to watch them.
And
Or
he's
like to have something
perfect.
for the parents. Oh, he
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, like his character is just so crotchety and
Yes.
selfish, and it's just like even among the bad guys, which is what they call themselves, they're like, "Yeah, you're the worst one of all of us."
Which one does he play?
He's the snake.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, he's the snake. Anthony Ramos is the piranha, and
Okay.
he's great. I love Anthony Ramos. He has this manic energy. They have a fun, like, introducing the team scene where it's like,
Ooh.
Mr. Wolf, I'm the leader, I'm the fast talker, blah, blah, blah. Mark Maron is the snake, he's a safecracker. Piranha is willing to fight with anyone at any time, is basically his thing.
Oh, wow.
And that's Anthony Ramos. Craig Robinson is the shark, who is a master of disguise, which the movie, the suspension of disbelief is skyrocket. Like, it's in the atmosphere because, like,
Well,
they'll
yeah,
just
they're anthropomorphic animals.
exactly. But like, they'll dress Craig Robinson up as like the shark. They'll dress him up in a dress and a wig, and people don't recognize him even he's a shark.
Oh, I love
But
that.
it's like I'm having so much fun not having to worry about logic. Like you show me that, and I'm like, cool. I don't need to worry about anything making sense.
Yes.
Aquafina is a spider. They call her Webs, and she's like the hacker, which is super dope.
Mm-hmm.
She like has her keyboard that extends, and she uses all of her arms to like type. It's really dope.
Excellent.
It's
I
so
like
great.
that.
But
Great
yeah, they're
use of like the what do you call
yeah,
it?
and they use everything well. Like the way that the snake will like kind of point out things with his tail, or like like when they get arrested like 2 or 3 times in this movie.
Of
And like the
course.
ways that they'll try to like apprehend them. Like they tied the snake in a knot.
Oh,
They like hang the piranha up by his little like thin arms.
Aw.
It's like so silly. It's fun. It's funny. The characters are great. Zazie is a fox. Diane, I think her name is Foxington.
Ooh.
And she is the governor,
Oh.
which is interesting because this is a world with humans and animals. And like the
oh,
governor is a fox, which is cool, but the rest of them kind of get you know, stereotyped because they're the bad guys. And it was very smart to pick these animals. Zazie's not surprisingly, but she hasn't done a whole lot of voice work. So I'm always impressed by her voice acting, especially in this. Because Invincible, she's kind of playing a more regular person, but this movie's kind of all over the place. And she just did a phenomenal job, and her character is great. I want to talk about the animation because I love it. It's so good. You guys know that I've been watching that YouTuber Toonrific Tariq. Shout out to Tariq if you're listening. You're not, but he's really into animation. Like the way that I think about animation now has changed a little bit. Like the minor things, like the smoothness of a character's motion, or how animators will take time to make sure the characters who aren't being focused on are doing something. Like a lot of times, characters will talk and then the other ones will just stand there. Kind of that's a thing that people bring up a lot about like Family Guy. But this movie, everything feels so. It's funny to say real because the movie's ridiculous, but like the way they move, little subtle things. Like Zazie's character has an eyebrow piercing, and it's very subtle, and it's just one of those things that okay, you can tell that this character is not super uptight, and she's kind of cool. No one brings it up, but it's just one of those minor things, and it's like you didn't have to put that in there, but you did.
Got
And
it.
like everyone moves in a certain way. Like the wolf is really smooth. There's a scene where they go to the fox's house, and she like lifts herself up to sit on like like you would do it to sit on a counter or something, and it looks
Mhm.
so natural, like the way that a person would do that when they're just comfortable in their house. And I'm just like, that was so cool, and I don't think I was supposed to like be that impressed by it or think it was that cool, but it was
Yeah.
super dope. They have at least one super super dope fight scene, some really fun car chases. Even the look of the animation is very smooth. I don't know enough about animation to really get detailed, but it's just like it looks really cool. And everybody has their own style. There's a police chief who is a human, and she's played by Alex Borstein. She's super cartoonish. Like she's kind of built like Luisa from Encanto, but
Oh.
less realistic and more cartoony. Like she wears these shorts and like the police hat, and she's very, very manic, and she really just wants to catch the bad guys. But she's great, and Alex Borstein did a great job. But like her movements versus somebody like Zazie's, you can tell that everybody has their own style, and they fit the characters very well. But yeah, it's a very fun movie. I'd recommend it if you like animation, kids movies, heist movies, maybe even. Uh, Gabby, I
Son of a
definitely
bitch,
recommend it.
I'm in.
What'd you say?
That's from Rick and Morty. They have like a whole heist episode, and they go like, "You son of a bitch, I'm
Oh,
in."
yes. Okay, I've seen that meme. But then also, for the Gabbies and Collins of the world,
Sir.
just enjoy it for what it is.
Also, I just looked up. I just wanted to know what Diane Foxington looked like, and
Mhm.
people were immediately out of pocket with this
I'm
person.
so worried. I'm so worried.
Don't. It's
Especially
not that bad, but I was like, this is. I should have turned on Safe Search. Is basically what I'm learning.
if you have to say I should have turned on Safe Search, then it is that bad.
It's really not. It's pretty like there's nothing like super porny, but I'm
Okay.
just like there's just some like basically like pinup style stuff, and I'm just like sir and ma'am.
That's the problem though, because
and
like
people.
there's something out there that is super porny.
Yo,
But
that's
I didn't expect
like,
to see it in the first 9 images
Of
of
course.
this character.
bruh, first 4, there's something heinous.
Right? Actually, yeah, that one's
people
horrible.
Went moving.
And I could tell. I could tell when I watch the movie. I watch it as a non-furry, but she's the love interest. She's
Dude.
Zazie Beetz, so she has a nice
I'm gonna
voice.
send you guys
She's very
one,
cool. I'm like,
or I'm
they are
like,
going
ma'am.
they are going to ruin the internet.
I'm gonna send y'all one in the group chat. This is not that bad, but it's also that bad.
But yeah, Gabby, I think you'd like her.
Sir.
Anyway, that's the bad guys. Now I'm going to talk about different bad guys. Crack dealers. All right, let's talk about Snowfall. Another thing that only I watch because I don't know. I need different people to talk to about TV shows, I guess. Anyway, the show is created by the late great John Singleton, Eric Amadio, and Dave Andron, and stars Damson Idris, Carter Hudson, Amin Joseph, Angela Lewis, and Isaiah John. Man, speaking of the internet being thirsty, Damson Idris, y'all leave that man alone.
But that video with him and Dana Kaluuya.
He's just having fun with his friend.
I know, and it's very attractive. Okay, we'll move on.
The splash zone. All right, IMDb summary for Snowfall is a look at the early days of the crack cocaine epidemic in Los Angeles during the beginning of the 1980s. So, the season just ended. Not everyone loved it. It went to some weird places. Fans of the show, a vocal, I don't know if it's the minority or the majority at this point, but they've been vocal about not digging some of the weird places that the season went. I like this season. I'm going to preface it with that. But yes, we're 5 seasons in, and they've randomly introduced a new love interest for Franklin, who was already pregnant.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't have done that, but time jumps, whatever. Yes, there's an old white man who has a tiger in the middle of Los Angeles.
That sounds like something that would have happened in the 80s, though. TBH.
Honestly, some people are saying, like, if you look it up, there were cases of, like, I don't know, like, something happened at the zoo or something, and people just had animals. But it felt...
The 80s were a wild time.
80s were a wild time. But it felt a little out of place for the show. I get it.
Fair.
I was fine with it. Yes, there's a doctor who touches herself at the thought of causing people physical harm.
Yikes.
That one I can't explain. She is a very strange character. And
the 80s.
that one.
80s were a wild time.
That one, maybe no.
The 80s were a wild time. And yes, there's an episode in which 90% of the main cast are on LSD the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a wedding. A character who was like a major antagonist in seasons past, who is now just not. Okay. He doses everyone at the wedding with LSD. Like,
this season seems like they were like, it's our last season, let's do whatever the fuck we want.
Which is crazy because it's not. They have another season after this, and I'm like, what are you gonna do next?
What?
But
does it
I thought it was done.
No, there's another season. The next one is the last one.
Okay, never
mind.
Does
it still carry forward the stuff about crack?
Yes, somehow they find time for all the crack. But like, everything that I've said, all of this insanity, works into the storyline better than it sounds. Now Franklin just has to worry about the mother of his unborn child in addition to everyone else he was worried about. Like, the whole reason that they ended up in a man's tiger cage was because they were running through the streets because a deal went wrong. I can't explain the doctor. She's just so strange. I don't know why they did that. She's just so chaotically horny all the time.
Listen, people like Gabby need representation.
Sir, no. Why are you attacking me?
Why are you attacking her?
I'm feeling so attacked.
Like, I get why you said that, but like,
Sir.
he's out of line, but he's right. Anyway.
Sir.
But all that to say, I still like this show. The story is compelling. I still care about all these characters. I want to see what's going to happen to Franklin and his family. It's just wild. I want to talk about the LSD wedding. So it's an insane concept for an episode, but we get some of Damson's best acting. There's a scene in which Franklin has to talk to another version of himself because, he's having an LSD trip. And it's just top tier. Like, the emotion that Franklin shows and that Damson is able to capture perfectly in a South Central accent. That man is
Yeah.
so British. But
Because
man,
he's really English, and it's like I'm angry, but also so impressed.
he's so good. Like, the amount of time that Franklin has to yell at people, mostly his family, like, he's so good at it. And I remember him saying that Dub C was his vocal coach. So now I'm just picturing Dub C yelling at him in a car in the Popeyes drive-thru and teaching him how to like yell at people like you're from LA. But yeah, that scene was great. There are still some great scenes. I get some people have a lower threshold for weirdness than I do. But as long as the show's still good, which it is, I still like the characters. Still one of my favorite shows. So I know a lot of y'all don't like it, but I don't care. Shut up. That's Snowfall. Oh, also, last thing I want to say is that one of the lines Franklin has, he's talking to his mom, who over the years has tried to get him out of the game, and then kind of just like, whatever, you're here. But toward the end of the season, he says, really matter of factly and kind of coldly, like, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I know you did your best, but what I am now, it's not your fault. And it's just like, man, he's really he's beyond saving. Like, I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but now I'm cleaning up my closet. All right.
Sure.
That's Snowfall. It's good. If you think it's not, I don't care. All right, what you been watching? What you been doing? That's it. That's the name of the thing. Let's start with Gabby because I've been talking too long.
Yes, sir. Let's start with me. All right. I was listening to Jason Bateman's podcast. He does it with two other people, but that's not what's important right now. And
Wow.
their guest
Disrespect
I'm
Will
so sorry.
Arnett and Sean Hayes like that?
Jesus.
Thank you for bringing up their names.
got
I
you.
could not think of their names, and I was like, that's not the point. We're on a time limit.
Got it.
The guest this week was Craig Robinson, and he was talking about the show he developed with Dan Gore, who helped create Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Office. He has a really great like comedy, like what is it called? Repertoire of
All right.
creation. Like he's one of NBC's like go-to guys.
Right.
And Craig Robinson was talking about the show, and I was like, that sounds wild. I want to watch that. And I subscribed to Peacock, so I was like, great. And then I found out later that they put the entire season on there. I haven't finished the season yet, but so far the show's great. Let me explain. Okay, so the concept of the show is that there is this dude that he just wants a loan from the bank, but he's black, so they said no. And played by Craig Robinson, as he's like hurrying out to try and meet somebody to try and get this loan from like another lender. This crazy white girl, Uber driver from Australia, she jumps out the car and she starts beating something in the bushes.
Oh my
And
God.
you're like, what is going on? And it turns out that she was killing a snake, a big ass Burmese python. Because speaking of pythons,
Hey.
they're in this show.
Okay.
Now, what people don't know is that in Florida, it was like a thing because Florida for people to have these gigantic snakes as pets, and then they would get too big, and instead of like, I don't know, taking them to animal control or something, these people just release them into the wild. And
course.
then unfortunately in the Florida Everglades, there is nothing bigger than a Burmese python. You're thinking an alligator. No, these motherfuckers will kill an alligator. So, they kill things, nothing kills them. They're the apex predator.
Mhm.
So there's too many now, and they're taking over and ruining the Everglades' like ecosystem. And so Florida pays people by the length of snake for people to just go out there and kill snakes. Like you could just go out and be a snake hunter and you make money off of it. And every year there's like a big challenge and you can win. I think in real life it's like $10,000. The challenge is 10 days long. But for the purposes of the show, it's $20,000 and it's a month.
All right.
And so Craig Robinson's like, fuck it, I'm desperate. And he joins this thing, and that's what the show's about. It's like Craig Robinson just trying to make his American dream real. What I will preface this with is the show can get really depressing, but from the jump, Craig Robinson is like a millionaire and he's telling his story. So he makes it somehow. So
That's
like
nice.
when the show gets really dark, you're like, it's okay. Craig made it. It's hilarious though. And I highly recommend it. It is called Killin' It. It's on Peacock and it's wonderful.
Very nice, very nice. I'm not doing it this week because
All right.
we have a time
Just
crunch,
me.
and I talked enough, and I will push my thing back to next week. Gabby, you better be here because you're the only one who watches it.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the news. We are going to trailer track because we got trailers, and the first one was Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Gabby's
Yes.
excited.
I loved it.
Yo, Natalie Portman, what's up?
Well, not just that, okay? But I love that literally it's called Thor: Love and Thunder. And I was like, where's the what? And it's literally Thor is gonna heal. And I'm like, yes, Thor, you deserve to have some healing. You deserve a healing journey.
Also, Tessa Thompson, what's up?
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth, what's up?
Timmy came back just to thirst
Jesus
over these two women.
Christ.
No, literally everybody.
You know,
in
the whole
that
cast.
movie is
Just the cast.
freaking yes, all of it. Ugh.
Timmy won't come back to the
Yes.
pod to talk to us about movies, but she'll come back to thirst.
For real though, shout out to Natalie Portman though for getting so bulky for this movie. 'Cause it's like, whoa,
She got them biceps. Okay, she got hands now. I'm scared.
She got
the
hands now.
gains are real.
Colin, did you watch the trailer?
I did.
Do you have any thoughts? I know you're not our Marvel guy, but
I don't know. It looks like it'll probably be a fun time. I will probably end up seeing it just because Taika Waititi directed it and I trust most of what he's done. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like fun.
fair. It does look like fun. I watch it and I'm like, man, I'm so glad that they turned Thor into a funny character. Like the little interaction he has with Star-Lord when he's like, look into the eyes of the people who love you. And then Thor is just pushing himself in the frame. He's like, not me. It's like, oh, of course not. I was just listening. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just seeing a fun Thor movie like the last one. Do we know who Shawty is? Who was like swinging with the blue hair and he kisses her?
I don't.
No,
Okay. I was very curious. I'm not sure if that matters to the story or not.
I feel like it's not going to matter. I feel like it's part
Yeah.
of Thor's healing journey.
Probably just, oh, I'm swashbuckling and kissing random broads on the boat.
Mhm.
Especially
I think
because
so.
Jane is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a whole thing. And she has his hammer. It's all pieced together.
I want to know how.
Yeah, comic
I
books.
want to know more about the story, but this is a teaser trailer, and Marvel only ever gives you vibes for their teaser trailers. So
Yeah. I like vibes. No thoughts, just vibes.
No thoughts, just vibe. Yeah, it looks fun. I'm going to watch it. It comes out in like 3 months. Don't have to wait too long.
I like that they used Thor's costume from the comic books, that they've translated it to screen. It looks really good. Same thing with Jane. Jane's also looks really, really good.
I agree.
I didn't even notice. I was just looking for jokes. But we're all
I just
different
like
people.
that he's healing. Like, I love that he's like, you know what? I've been through a lot. It's time. It's time for me to like heal my heart. And I'm like, yes, I love Big Himbo that's going through therapy.
Going to therapy. Yeah, I look forward to see his healing process and the ridiculousness. I'm glad the Guardians are there. I love them. They're so much fun.
I don't want them in this movie for very long, to be honest. So,
Hopefully they won't be.
We'll
but
see what
Christian
happens.
Bale is playing the villain. So hype.
Ooh. For real. Who's he playing?
Can't remember his name.
I think the character's name is Gore.
That sounds familiar. Christian Bale gonna go all out. That's what he does.
See.
Speaking of going all out, Colin,
Me.
you and I got, I guess we can call it a trailer for Love, Death, and Robot Season 3. And it's really
I mean, it is a trailer. You can't say it isn't.
I mean, yeah, but it's really just, hey, remember all this crazy stuff we did for the first 2 seasons? We're back. Let's do it again.
I mean, I'm down.
Yeah. I also do like,
I think
what's up?
like what excited me mostly is that it's out in a month.
Yeah, we don't have to wait anytime. Like, as soon as we find out about it, it's like, oh, it's here. I do like the way they started the trailer.
Yeah.
I can't. What show was that they were? Was it The Crown?
The Crown.
Okay, yeah, it
Yeah.
was like, the studio that brought you like The Crown or like, Emmy nominated, blah 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 blah, and they're like showing all the stuff, and I'm like, what am I looking at? Because like I know I clicked Love, Death, and Robots trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just like hard left turn, chaos and violence, and some titties. I was like, yep, this is what I'm here for. It's like, look, we're showing you what couldn't be further from our show that Netflix is doing, and then we're showing you what you came to this trailer for.
But comedy.
I love it. They're great marketing. Every piece of marketing for the show is so chaotic.
I think but the show is chaotic in and of itself.
Yeah.
So.
But man, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Same.
I want to see
And
some.
I did point out the 2 seconds of new footage in it. So
Yes. There's at
there's
least
that.
one new thing. But also, Netflix, just kidding. I don't like the show. Please don't cancel it. Just gonna.
Their animation department is getting destroyed, so they might.
Oh, don't like that. But yeah, until it happens, we'll be watching. Or I mean, Colin will be watching.
Yep.
I'll be staying safely away.
Right.
All right. But here is the next piece of news. The reason I started this podcast like I did, Kendrick is coming back after
Yes!
5 years. The nigga done dropped another album, or he's about to drop another album.
Well, isn't it more like 3? Because he did drop Black Panther on us.
So I don't count
2018.
that because
Okay.
that is like he curated an album and he raps on.
But he's also on it.
Yeah,
He's
he
like
raps on a lot of the
He's on
songs, but
almost
it's like
the entire soundtrack.
so as a person who's really into hip hop, this is the comparison of like a J. Cole album versus a Dreamville album.
Okay.
Like Dreamville just put out a mixtape, and that's J. Cole's music collective, and he's on a lot of the album,
Mhm.
but it's not a J. Cole album.
Okay, got it.
Like Kendrick
Got
put out Damn 5 years ago, and then Black Panther came out, and I love I Wish a Nigga Would, but it's like it's a bunch of rowdy niggas from Northern California rapping, and Kendrick is popping up here and there. And also the way that Kendrick does his albums, like To Pimp a Butterfly has one feature verse on it by Rhapsody, but mostly it's just him. So like
Yeah.
that's why I don't count Black Panther. Like I want
That's fair.
Kendrick rapping for however long it's gonna be. But yeah, it's
That's
called
fair.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I got no idea what that means, but I don't care. It comes out May 13th. And
Me
your boy
either.
is hype.
Yeah, my boyfriend was like, right on time, my birthday. He's like, that's so what a gentleman.
What a gentleman. So excited.
Oh, and I'm so ready. Actually, my boyfriend like did not know about like Family Ties and what is the other song?
Range Brothers.
Range Brothers, and I played it for him, and he was like, "When did this happen?" And I was like, "Why am I telling you about Kendrick news?" It was like when he was telling me, he told me about the like Rihanna ASAP Rocky rumors that came out. He came into the house like, "I have news for you," and I was like, "Why are you delivering this? Why don't I already know?" Same thing with the Kendrick album. I was like, Kendrick about to drop an album? He's like, "What?" And I sent him the link.
It's so funny because first I heard about this from Colin. And I was like,
Yeah, that's what was wild.
of all the people to tell me about a Kendrick album, why am I
Right.
hearing it from Colin?
Yeah, Colin.
I mean, I was probably up earlier than y'all, and I saw it, and I figured you would want to know.
Yeah. It's just like, how
Oh
did I
no, we did.
like I'm that guy on this podcast. I should have been the one to break that news.
The world was like giving that day, I think, because that was the same day we got the Thor trailer, I think. Either that or it was that week. Like it's like the world was just giving us like
So it's a
things we
big week.
love. It was like Kendrick album, Thor trailer. Like here you go.
I'm so excited. On both of those songs, Kendrick is just being so weird.
I know, I loved it so much.
Like, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning.
Yep.
And it's just
So I'm excited
I'm
for
so excited to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, someone's been cooped up for 2 years and it's showing, but I want to see what comes out of it. I want to see what kind of art you create, sir.
Also, he put out that like manifesto thing last year, which it's not long enough to really call it that. I don't know if you saw it, but he was talking about how he spends most of his days without a phone and like collecting
yeah.
old beach cruisers. I'm like,
Mhm.
what is going on?
I was like, is he okay?
Right? People are saying like this sounds like a villain origin story. What are we about to get?
But I'm excited. I want to
Yes.
know because I think he's just an artist,
Yeah.
and sometimes artists go to places that we don't understand, but I still want to see what comes out of it, I
Yeah.
still want to see what kind of wild shit or normal shit or stuff that I really vibe with that he puts out. I want to see it.
Same. I'm hyped and I can't wait. I'm gonna just clear out that spot on my music list because I know where it's going.
Harry Styles is also putting out an album, and that man, he makes good music to me, so I'm excited too. May's just gonna give because his album comes out in May too. So.
That was like starting a Love, Death, and Robots trailer with The Crown. Like it's so you went as far as you could from Kendrick Lamar. Like, oh, also Harry Styles.
No, I know. I'm sorry,
No, it's
but
good.
he's also putting out music. I'm just
We have
naming
range here.
little
I like
things
that.
that are like making me happy.
I respect it. In other news, less happy news, Spider-Verse is delayed until 2023. Fam,
Yeah.
I mean,
just want the movie.
listen, this is probably a good thing, given how complicated that movie must be to make.
It's interesting
Like-
because I think you're my video game guy, and I think you're the one that tells
Yeah.
me that when it happens in video games, it's like good,
Yeah.
make it better, improve it.
Mhm.
But also, yeah, I don't think that they're gonna take this time to make the movie worse. So like, cool, but I think it's supposed to come out in October.
It was, yeah.
And man,
At least they told us early.
I don't wanna
Like,
wait.
yeah, I know. Me either. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll be all right. I'm not hurt, not really. That's all our news, unless you guys have any other thoughts.
No, that's it. My Harry Styles news was like the only other news.
I like that you just like slid that in there. It's cool. That's a little addendum to the news section.
Yep.
Colin, I'm guessing you don't have any random news to throw in.
No.
Cool. You are on brand. All right, that's our podcast. We did it. We did the thing. We are done. Audience, thank you so much for listening to all of that. As always, thank you to Crown Digital, Brandon, and IL for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, coming in the thirst with the Thor trailer. Gabby needs somebody to thirst with.
Yep. Someone else for the splash zone, please.
Remember you said that.
I didn't even go that hard in the paint. I'm just trying to rep everybody that I can right now.
Yeah, you didn't go Gabby level.
Yeah.
You did
Oh,
Demi's
no.
level, the minor. I just need a sip.
Yeah.
You're not guzzling.
Just need a shot.
Exactly. Just need a little shot. A little shot of thirst. Not a real splash, just like a spritz. Anyway, Gabby.
An aerosolized spray.
Speaking of thirst, Gabby, thank you for coming back. Even though it was just for the furry movie, we know why you're here.
Again. I don't think I need to repeat myself.
The coincidence of you coming back for this episode of all episodes, like we've been missing you, and as soon as Mr. Wolf shows up in his suit, she's like,
all right,
I gotta show up for this one.
Sir.
Anyway, Colin, thanks for hanging out, despite, as always, not having seen most of the things we talked about. You're just here for the vibes, and I appreciate it.
My brand.
Your brand. Anyway, honest, let us know, what do you think of Snowfall? What do you think of the Bad Guys? Are you curious about the drawings of Foxy's Ozzy? If you are, hit up Gabby. But let us know in the comments, or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. If you want to talk to me specifically, talk to me about Atlanta, because I'm watching Atlanta and none of my heathen friends are keeping up with it at the pace that I would like them to. So if you want to talk to me about that show,
damn.
I'll watch the episode today.
Please do. If you want to talk to me about Atlanta, because I need people to do that, hit me up on Twitter and or Instagram at KingNameSymbol.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and you could hit me up on Instagram if you want to talk about how great Craig Robinson is, because I love him.
What is your Instagram handle?
Oh, it's at Stegosaurus. Sorry, guys. Whoops.
That's Colin managing for us.
Hey. And you can find me on Twitter at DuckMcGuck.
And Demi, can they find you? No, they can't find you.
Demi is unfindable.
Demi is unfindable. She is untraceable. All right, it's been different. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Gabby's back, guys, and that means it's time again for the Splash Zone. Gabby, tell us, who is the hottest anthropomorphic fox according to you?
Oh, God. I'm so mad that I have an answer to this.
Oh, of course you do.
Okay.
Tell the people.
It's Robin Hood. Disney's Robin Hood fox.
Okay.
No one's better.
That's expected.